Hey, Vinny Lips here from Off the Block, and the new college men's volleyball national media poll is out. And I'm a voter for this poll, so let's get down to how I voted this week. Number one, no change here. I have Loyola the Ramblers on a nation bench, 17-match winning streak. And the most impressive thing, though, that came out this weekend for the Ramblers, if you look at their match against Penn State, a good signature non-conference victory. But what happened in that match was Joseph Smalzer, their stud player, did not have a great game, and yet Loyola won. They have an amazing supporting cast, whether it's Jeske and Caldwell on the outside. They have an outstanding libero, an outstanding setter, and Hunts. This is a complete team. They're not just one player doing the job. They are 6, 7 deep doing the job, and that's why the Ramblers remain number one on my ballot. Now, number two, I have BYU, the Cougars, once again continuing to win in conference play and continuing to win at home. They have been dominant at home this season, undefeated, and that's why it's critical for BYU to win the MPSF regular season championship, because that means they're going to get home court throughout the conference tournament, and good luck to any team going up to Provo and trying to win there. That is a tough, hostile environment to win. So continuing down my ballot, those are the top two. Number three, I have Pepperdine. I put them at number three, moving them up after their win against Long Beach State. Love the way this team is playing. Josh Taylor, after his little mini slump, seemed to turn around, putting up big offensive numbers, and then Parker Kalmbach is continuing to do great on the outside, and the Waves, they're continuing to block well, they're continuing to put balls away. This is going to be a scary team to play in the postseason. So, those are my top three. Now at number four, I have Stanford. I have jumped Stanford all the way up to number four. Yes, they had a bye this week, but you look at what Stanford is doing. You look at the way this team has progressed throughout the season. They are playing their best volleyball right now, and I'm going to be very, very interested to see what the Cardinal is able to do coming off of their bye week and how they're going to be able to close out the regular season, because this team is looking great with Cook and Irvin on the outsides as those two pin hitters, and then you have a setter like James Shaw, who potentially could be a finalist this season for the Lloyd Ball Award for Nation's Best Setter with the way he's playing. So those are my top four. Then at number five, I have Long Beach State. 49ers, a tough weekend, 2 conference road losses. That's going to ding them. They drop down on my ballot. And the interesting thing for the 49ers moving forward is for them to win, they're going to need players besides Taylor Crabb to step up. You're starting to see what teams are doing. They're putting 2, 3 blockers in front of the crowd and daring the 49ers to beat them with someone else besides Crabb. So if the 49ers can get their supporting cast to step up like they had been doing before this week, I would still expect for the 49ers to be a good team, be a Final Four team, but that has to happen. Didn't happen this week, but expect for it to happen moving forward. They have some good quality players on that team. So that's the top 5. Then at number 6, I have UC Santa Barbara. The Gauchos, they were on a bye week. No need to punish them. I still think that this is a good team, a little bit sporadic. Even their head coach, Rick McLaughlin, has said they're a little bit schizophrenic at times, but you know what? They beat teams, they upset teams, and they just might upset themselves into a potential at-large bid of the NCAA tournament with the way that they're playing this season. So moving down at number 7 now, I have USC, the Trojans. They are, without doubt, going to be one of the scariest low-seed teams to play in the nation come the conference tournaments. When you look at this team, you have a outside attacker in Lucas Yoder as a freshman who's averaging more than 4 kills a game. You have a future Olympian in Micah Christensen setting, and then at your opposite position, Tanner Jensen continuing to step it up, putting up big numbers, had 26 kills in a victory this weekend against Long Beach State. And if they can get that production from the outside, if they can continue to get production from Madison McKibben, along with everyone else, this is going to be a scary team, a team that could potentially upset some teams come the conference tournament. Now, moving down on my ballot, at number 8, I have UC Irvine. The Anteaters, you have to love the job that David Niffen has done coaching this team this year. You know, they had their bumps at the beginning of the season, but they began to figure things out. They're playing good volleyball. They're coming off of a bye week, and I would expect for them to continue to do well as they fight for MPSF positioning. So those are the top 8. Now, moving down, and my final 2 spots, I have 2 non-West Coast teams to round out my ballot this week. Number 9, I have Ball State. The Cardinals, first time this season, I put the Cardinals in my ballot, and you have to reward teams for winning. That is what Ball State has done. I give you credit. They have not played the toughest non-conference schedule. They've really only had a couple big non-conference matches, both of which they lost. But you look at this team, they're continuing to win, and they're continuing to get better. They're continuing to get good victories in conference play. Had a good victory this weekend against Ohio State. And I just love the way that their middles are playing. You have two all-American middle attackers in Matt Lesky and Kevin Owens. And, if Ball State keeps winning, who knows? Don't count them out yet for a potential at-large bid. But it's going to be very interesting this weekend when they play Lewis and Loyola. That's going to be the determining factor to see if this team is here to stay and can they compete for an MIVA title. So that's my 9. And to close out my ballot, I have IPFW at number 10. Similar story to Ball State in regards, they have a very impressive win-loss record. You have to reward teams for winning. And IPFW continuing to play good volleyball, continuing to put teams away, continuing to get the W's that maybe a year ago this team wouldn't get. Now they're finding ways to win. And one player to watch who doesn't get enough recognition is the job that Omar Rivera, their setter, has done in running the Mastodons offense. So it's going to be very interesting to see this upcoming week, especially when they have a home match against Loyola. Circle that on your calendar right now. That could be a potential upset. That's how good IPFW is. That's how good they play on the road. So it's going to be a very, very interesting week in volleyball. It's going to be very interesting to see how the ballot turns out next week. But that's going to do it for us in my breakdown of my top 10. Be sure to get all your news, all your men's volleyball news and analysis by going to offtheblockblog.com.